Well, my mom is French. Also, my grandmother is a Holocaust survivor. And so I really come from a line of survivors. She's still alive. She's 102. Completely
Shout
lucid.
out grandma.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I talked to her on the phone 2 days ago. She was telling me I needed to hurry up and come home and that it was Mother's Day and she liked the flowers I sent. So, and she knows my number by heart. This ring is from the Holocaust. And so I carry my ancestors with me. Again, like my dad said, honor that side.
Honor, yeah.
But I am a black woman through and through.
Hey, let this shit ride for a minute, man. If you got a dream, you gotta go get it. It ain't gonna be easy, it's a lonely road. Very lonely road. But you gotta push through and figure it out. Hey.
Yo, what up, though? Y'all know what time it is, man. I'm so excited. We are here with another episode of
REL Talk. Yeah,
Listen, I'm excited because I know y'all probably like, he always excited, but because I get to talk to some of the dopest people in the world, let me just, again, y'all know how this goes, so let me go and break it down for you. This entrepreneur goddess is a tap dancer, choreographer, life coach, philanthropist, and educator who has created such a beautiful life. She is a part of the world famous tap dancing band Syncopated Ladies, who have worked with some of the biggest names in TV shows in Hollywood. Their choreography has gained them over 100 million views online from their music videos, and they've worked on shows such as Ellen, The Kelly Clarkson Show, Good Morning America, CNN's New Year's Eve, Bel Air, Theater Camp, and Y2K, just to name a few. Trust me when I say the list goes on. And not to mention, their choreography is Emmy nominated. You feel me? She's co-director and producer of the DC Tap Festival and Hollywood Tap Festival held at Debbie Allen's Dance Academy. She, along with her sister, have their clothing line that is inspired by dance and empowerment. You can find that at shop.chloeandmaud.com. Not only that, they have a book out right now, you feel me, titled More Than Moves, a dancer's guided journal for self-love, wellness, and dance. And this book can be found at morethanmovesjournal.com. Now, as a graduate of Columbia University with a degree in film, she's developed a unique blend of creativity, discipline, and empathy, which has led her to create Maudify U, which is a life coaching platform designed to help you unlock your full potential and live a life that's filled with meaning and happiness. She has spent over 15 years inspiring individuals around the globe to discover their focus, purpose, and joy. And for more information, you can go to maudarnold.com/Maudify. And last but not least, please donate to the Chloe and Maud Foundation, where they provide uplifting, inspiring, and joyful education programming for young people around the world in the fields of dance, entrepreneurship, and innovation. And for more information, please visit www.chloeandmaudfoundation.org. This is Maud Arnold. Come on, man. Give it up.
Oh, my gosh.
Give it up for you. Hey.
Wrote that. That was amazing.
Hey, what we talking
wow. He really hit everything. I was like, how does he know about Maudify U? I was like, I haven't spoken to Jarrell in a while. I was like, he's been keeping up. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
I do
know how to humble a lady.
You know.
And then also I'm like, listen, I'm like, oh my God, it's so much.
No, but we have to give flowers where flowers are due, right? And that's the point of this, man. I was so excited to sit down and talk to you because your joy and your life to me is just so amazing. You bring just your smile is so infectious. Every time I see you, I'm just full of joy. Even when I seen you today, I was like, come here, give me a hug, because it's just who you are. So welcome to REL Talk. We're here. One thing I always say I like to talk to my guests about, a lot of times my podcast is based on expanding our minds, right? Mm-hmm. And I just want to open our minds. So I always like to ask questions at the top just to see, get your mind working and see where you are mentally. And the questions can be very random. This one will be random. Okay. So my question to you is, I seen this thing on the internet. How do you do math in your head? I know this sounds crazy, but like, if somebody was to say to you, I'm kind of testing her math skills. If somebody was to say to you right now, let's say, what is 73 times? Well, let's not times. We ain't gonna go times. Let's say 73. We going a little string. 73 plus 23. How would you do that math in your head? How do you break that down?
Okay, so when you were about to say multiply, because I break it down two different ways in my head.
Okay.
So if you said 73 plus 23, I do 3 plus 3 is 6, and then the 2 plus 7 is 9. So that's how I would get there.
Okay.
Now, if you had to say multiplication, it's very weird. I imagine these little black dots in my head and on a white background. It is the weirdest thing ever since I was a child.
Okay.
And I move them around, and then I multiply like that. Strange. Like if
That is
I,
strange.
you know, when you go to like not the grocery store, but if you go shopping and it's like 30% off or 40% off,
Yeah.
I go to the price tag and I know how to do the math with the little dots in my head immediately, and I'll be like, oh, it's this amount of money. Boop.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you thought
Yeah.
I love a random
yeah.
because let me tell you, I have a lot of time to think.
Okay.
I'm on planes a lot.
Yeah. It's like, cause even for me, like when I break math down, like I would look at 73 and 23. I go, well, 70 plus 20 is 90 and 3 plus 3 is 6. So 96.
That's a
and
good
I kind
way.
of break everything down. Like I don't care what the numbers are. I'm going to just do the main first and then I'll do the rest later.
But that's a good way
And it's
to
kind of
do
just
it.
how I get my answers always. But
You know how to do the multiplication trick with 9 though?
I've heard something about that. Explain it to me. See, we learned
So
it.
you have to put your hands like this.
Okay.
So let's say your hands are here, right?
Right.
So let's say you wanted to say, what's 3 times 9? So you count from the left to the right. So
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Right.
You put that down.
Okay.
3 times 9 is 20. There's 2, 7. You see, there's 2 fingers and then 7.
Oh.
It works for everyone. So if you do 9 times 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
It's 45.
It's 40.
It works for all of the numbers.
That's great.
Only in
You
the
learn
9
something
times
new
table.
every day, bro. You
You know, I used to wear glasses. I'm a
Hey.
nerd. I got LASIK eye surgery. Don't
That's
be fooled.
so good. That's so good, though, and I'm still in that for sure. Trust me, because in math, my report cards was like AAA, C, AAA. It was always terrible. But let's get into it, man. Listen, young black girl growing up in DC, right? And obviously, where your life is today, at that age, you couldn't imagine. Explain to me what it's like during your time, and this would be what 90s, early 2000s, as a young black girl growing up in DC. Talk to me about that experience and how this dance journey started for you and your sister. You know, let me know a little bit about that.
Well, DC is such a unique place because
Yeah.
when I was growing up, it was Chocolate City. So it was like 74 or 76% black. So our mom is white. She was the only
Okay.
white woman in our entire neighborhood. Like literally we would walk around and, you know, people would be like, oh, is your mom that white lady? That cool white lady? I'd
Okay.
be like, yep. And she was known as like the cool white lady.
That's what's up.
And, but because DC was so black, you saw a range of blackness.
Yeah.
So from your crackheads on the corner, because it was during the epidemic, the crack epidemic
Yeah.
of, you know, of DC, to one of our friends from dance, her mom was general counsel for Verizon, and she's a black woman, and would take Chloe, that's my sister, to courtside seats when it was the Bullets versus the Sixers.
Yeah.
So you had this scope of blackness from destitute and addicted to thriving and rich and the bourgeoisie of, you know,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And so it was really interesting because one, I always felt like black was beautiful. I always felt like I could do anything. And I was also very afraid of not succeeding because I saw what that looked like. And the way that we got into dance was I'm 6 years younger than Chloe.
Okay.
So my mom put kids in dance and then
Right.
you see what happens. You just, they go to dance. So Chloe, funny enough, okay, so my mom, like I said, she's a white woman. She took Chloe to this dance studio and Chloe was tasked with Chloe was given a duet with her friend, Katie, who just came to our tour in DC like a month and a half ago. How crazy is that?
That is
And
crazy.
the teacher choreographed the solo for Chloe. Mind you, my sister is like 10, if that, maybe 9 at the time. My mom was like, this is a terrible solo or terrible duet. You have to do it together. And my mom's not a stage mom. She's just excellent. She just is like in the pursuit of excellence. She's an educator. She's like, you guys can make up something better. You need to go down, make it up yourself, take it back and present it. And my mom just felt like that dance studio was maybe holding my sister back because she was one of the only black kids. So my mom removed us because she's white, but she's very, you know.
Okay. She was with it.
Oh, she's very with it.
Okay.
Like I read the autobiography of Malcolm X in middle school because my mother gave it to me.
Hey.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, mama. Shout out mama.
Yeah,
man.
no, my mom, we were raised as black women.
Yeah,
There was
for
no
sure,
like, oh,
for
you're
sure.
mixed, you're half this,
Yeah.
you're half that. No, you're whole. And you are a black woman and you're going to go through life as a black woman. So you need
Facts.
to educate yourself and
Facts.
love yourself.
Yes.
So my mom read the newspaper, shout out to reading the newspaper for opportunities, and found this like audition for a tap group because Chloe like was really taking to tap.
Yeah.
So my mom found this place. To make a long story short, it was this phenomenal woman named Toni Lombre, who was a young black woman, had a one-room studio, like teeny tiny, and Chloe started going there, and then I started going there, and it really was the blueprint for how we created Syncopated Ladies, because it was all women, it was all girls, and we became like a family because it was just a one-room studio. It wasn't some fancy state-of-the-art place. It was like great training and great art, and we learned, I mean, Miss Tony, R.I.P., she taught us about dance and sisterhood and hygiene and boys and all the things. It was beyond dance. And so dance and that studio became our safe haven because DC was the murder capital of the world at the time.
Yeah.
And so, and me and Chloe and I took the train and then the bus to get to dance together. And so dance really saved our lives and showed us the world and the possibilities, so that we could leave DC.
So your sister being 6 years older than you, right? Because my thing is, do you feel like, you said your mom kind of put you guys in a dance and it's like you do this with your kids, but do you feel like once you fell into it that you fell in love, or do you feel like, well, this is kind of what, you know, I see my sister doing, my mom is doing, because you're being younger. It's like, okay, well, I like it too and this is dope, but then it was like, no, actually, I love this. You see what I'm saying? Like, what was that balance for you?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I loved socializing.
Okay.
Let's be very clear. Since I was 4 years old, I have talked to everybody.
Okay.
Like my mom put me on a leash. I was the child who was going to get kidnapped. Because I'm like, oh, you want to be my friend? Everybody's my friend. Like I spoke to everybody. So the dance studio, oh my gosh, there's so many people to talk to.
Yeah.
I loved the energy there. I loved being there. I loved being around the people. And then when I started getting good, full disclosure, I wanted to quit when I was 7
Okay.
because the teacher was mean to me. I just probably
course.
being like a little butthole.
Of course.
And I go home and I'm like, Mom, I'm going to quit tap. And she was like, what are you going to do instead? And I was like, watch cartoons, because it was on Saturdays at 1 o'clock.
Ooh.
The fact that I remember this, and this is 32 years ago, it was
That's
Saturdays
deep.
at 1. I was like, I'm going to watch cartoons. And she goes, do you want to be homeless? Now, I don't know what the logic there was as to I'm going to kick you out of my house, or if you don't complete a task, you're going to be broke and be homeless. I don't know, but it was effective. And my mom was like, you will finish the year because you finish what you start, and then we can have this conversation again. And when I was like, Miss Dana was mean to me, she's like, what did you do? Like,
Right.
why? And I remember I was a very unflexible child, and she was trying to make a stretch, and I was like, I don't want to do it. I was also a very highly intelligent child, so I try to manipulate people. And I do know this, which is actually terrible, but whatever. You learn and you grow. And funny enough, Miss Dana. Oh, and then by the end of the year, I'd gotten good, and like I had a solo, and I was like, I love this. This is amazing.
Hey.
But Miss Dana is our #1 volunteer now for our tap festivals.
Wow.
How funny is
That's
that?
crazy.
Uh-huh.
Full circle is
Full
something
circle.
else.
Full
That's
circle.
something else.
Yes, like we couldn't do it without her.
That's so beautiful. Even like watching you guys and realizing how much dance has given you, I can only imagine, like, this is beautiful, right? Like, to see where it's taken you guys. But for you personally, when is the moment that you feel like you were like, this is actually changing our lives? Because there has to be a moment, right? We look at success, you know, you have success in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I have it. We know people that have it, but there has to be that moment at the start where you're like, wait a minute, this is crazy. This is, you know, what would you say that was for you?
You know, it's a really hard question for me because I honestly feel like that every day. Like, so I don't, like today I don't know if you saw my story, my long day, also all by choice, but we have 5 after school programs in LA USD right now.
Okay.
And I went and taught at our high school, and I had 2 seniors, and we were getting their dance together to perform at Black graduation. Mind you, before our program, these young ladies had never tap danced before. As a part of our programming, they get these guided journals. We're talking more about not just about dance, but about self-esteem. And, we're talking about college. One of them is going to Howard. I'm going to give her my number so when she graduates so that she can contact me if she needs anything while she's in DC. And it is honestly every day that I'm like, I cannot believe, like, I get to tap dance and this is my life.
Yeah.
I will say, though, probably when I was 14, I got to come to LA for the summer to train at Debbie Allen Dance Academy on scholarship.
Okay.
But I lived with her. So going from a 1-bedroom apartment, and our mom slept on the sofa, our brother slept on the porch, me and Chloe shared a room. We cleaned the building to offset rent. I've had a job since I was 8. I've worked at a barbershop sweeping hair, emptying trash. To go from that to a mansion for the summer and to see it being built by this beautiful Black couple and the woman who brought us out from dance, that's when it was like, whoa, this is possible. And the thing about Debbie Allen, shout out to Debbie Allen, who's really the GOAT of all goats.
Goat.
The GOAT is that
GOAT.
she is not a gatekeeper. And she's like, you can do this too. You should be able to have this too. But we watched her work. Debbie Allen is, oh my God, she works so much. Still now, she's 75.
Still.
She works all the time, but she loves it. And she's constantly pouring into and investing in the next generation. Like when you talk about a mentor, that's Debbie Allen. We lived with her I lived with her for 4 summers. And then when Chloe graduated from college, Chloe lived with her full time until Chloe could afford to get her own apartment here. And that's because Debbie believed in us. We weren't even like that talented necessarily. She just saw something. But Debbie Allen is a star finder. Like she directed the Fresh Prince pilot. She discovered Jada. Like she knows how to find it in people and then nurture it and then like be there as a rock. She's the greatest.
That is so cool. That part of your story to me is just so cool because a lot of times we don't even see things for ourselves and other people see it for us. And it's almost like that God energy that it's like he'll put somebody in your life because it's going to spark something that allows you to become the person that you're supposed to be. And then when you become that person, you go back and then you carry this attitude of gratitude because it's like the appreciation is so beautiful. That to me, I just think it's cool when I hear your story because it's like, when you talk about having all these jobs, right? And you worked hard, catching the train, doing all these things, the struggle. And then it's like, you go from that to realizing like, God is like, no, I got you. We got you. Trust me, because that is the craziest thing, man. But again, you're anointed. I genuinely feel like you're anointed. So
I do too.
You know what I mean?
I always tell my mom, I'm like, because it was just my birthday like a week ago. And I told my mom, I said, I wake up and I feel like I was born under like a charmed star, like a lucky star. I was like, my life is so charmed. And even with, growing up in DC, I've been to too many friends' funerals and, when you experience that and you see such a disregard for Black life when you grow up in DC. Yeah. And it's like, wow, there were so many instances that I was like maybe 10 feet or 2 feet away from a bullet in DC. I mean, because I used to love the club and we would go and people shooting at me, army crawling. But then I'm like, why am I back there next week? It's wild.
I'm right back.
It's wild to think how we were socialized. Like, we still gonna go to the club. Like, what? Yeah. Could you imagine that? But it's like, thank you, God. Thank you, universe, for protecting me and my sister from the danger that we were constantly surrounded by. It's wild.
So let me ask you this, because I want to talk a little bit to you about your life. Again, to me, you are experiencing life in the most beautiful way because you get to travel. You get to go all over the globe. You get to meet so many amazing people. And I have to say this because watching her interact with children and her energy and how she empowers them, like the camps, it's so beautiful. In your experience, what would you say has been like the place that you visited that had the biggest impact on your life? Because you've been to so many.
Brazil.
Right?
Hands down. I got a scholarship there. My high school, shout out to Duke Ellington School of the Arts in DC.
Okay.
They recommended me for this program called Experiment in International Living when I was a junior in high school. And I got a scholarship to go. You got to pick from like maybe 20 countries for like 6 or 7 weeks, and you go on this trip.
Yeah.
And I got a scholarship because I was nominated by the school. And I picked Brazil. Y'all, I don't know. I knew nothing about Brazil. It just looked pretty in the little book. I mean, because
And that was why you
this
chose
is pre-Google. This is
Yeah,
pre,
of course. So you can only like
and,
really.
and everybody was like, Brazil is so dangerous. And they're like, to my mom, like, Barbara, you're going to let Maud go to Brazil? And my mom's like, we live in DC. Like,
like wherever she goes, upgrade. We good, bro.
she's like, and if that's where she wants to go. And each country had like a different title. And that one was called like rhythm and culture or something. And I was like, I do rhythm and I want to learn culture.
Yeah.
So I picked Brazil. I'm excited. Right before I go, Snoop Dogg and Pharrell dropped the Beautiful video. And I'm like, that's where I'm going? I was like amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. And so when I got there, mind you, I speak no Portuguese. I'm on a group trip with a bunch of other teenagers that I don't know, mostly children of affluent people, because it was kind of like a get your rich kids away for the summer kind of thing. And then there were like 5 scholarship poor kids.
Yeah.
I was...
Yeah.
And it changed my life. I remember,
Yeah.
and my mom, funny enough, maybe like 6 months ago, she was like, I found a printout of an email that you had sent me when you were in Brazil that I printed out. Because remember back in the day, and when I went to Brazil, I was able to write my mom once a week from an internet cafe. Because remember, this is...
Yeah. This
And in one place I went in Brazil, there was no internet cafe. And they told the parents, like, there's going to be a week, like, you won't be able to talk to your kids for like 10 days. Mm-hmm. And in the email, I'm like, Mom, I have found my people. This is where I belong. They look at you and they smile. They're nice. They're welcoming. They're kind. They have this, like, energetic spirit. And that was in 2003. And I was like, I am coming back to this country. I don't know how, why, what, when, where. I'm coming back here. I never felt so moved. And I was only 17. And then in 2009, I got invited to go teach at a tap dance festival there. Mm-hmm. And I just kept going. I just got back last week. That's why I'm tanned. I'm usually quite delightful. I'm very tanned right now, guys. That was my 28th trip. And I think after so Chloe and I have sponsored 501 visas for young artists that we met in Brazil to come to America to be artists. And they're thriving.
Give it up for that. What are we talking about? I mean, like, what? Yes.
Thank you. And then I was like, Chloe and I were like, this country gives us so much joy. Like every time I go, I feel rejuvenated, re-inspired, reinvigorated. We're like, we have to give back to it because too often do Americans or whoever go to places and it's like we pillage and we take and we gain and then what are we giving back? So I was like, let's start a program. So now we have programs in favelas in Rio and in Florianopolis, and we have 115 students ranging in age from 7 to 19. And I just got back and they are thriving. Thriving. Like when I watch them, because they take class once or twice a week. Yeah. And we pay our Brazilian teachers an American salary, the same that you would get in America to teach dance, because we want to empower them financially too. And I was like, literally this was 10 days ago, and I texted Chloe and I was like, we're really making a difference. Like it's a crazy notion. It's a crazy thing to like see children and you're like, wow, 70% chance that you would have been trafficked had we not done this programming.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like, wow. I mean, we fly, because our teenage group, they're excellent, from Rio. We fly them to this other smaller city. Actually, no, it's a big city. It's just not like Rio big. And we have this dance festival there. And for all of them, it was their first time ever flying, me and Chloe buying their flights. Like getting on an airplane, going somewhere, going away from their home. And we always want to give the kids like a first class experience.
Of course.
Eating at great restaurants, even when we're in Rio and we have our kids in the favela, we bring them, it's called the South Zone, which is like the fancy part. So think like if you're in Watts, no, we're going to take you to restaurants in Beverly Hills so you understand that you deserve to be here too and you belong here. This is your city as well. So we're also socializing them in a way and instilling that confidence that they know that they belong and that they're just as important.
That is, listen, I just want to say congratulations, but also thank you. You know what I mean? Thank you for the work that you do, because to me, what you just said is the true definition of understanding that is bigger than you. It's so much bigger than you, because we are vessels. We're vessels. We're here to do the work. I always try to tell people that God makes you a vessel to do the work. You're going to receive the blessings in the way that you do, but we're really vessels. And when you start to understand that it's bigger than me, you're able to relinquish and accept everything else. Because it's like, I know, and to see somebody's life change, you can't pay money for that. You get what I'm saying? Like there's no amount of money that can compare to how you probably felt watching these kids have this experience. You get like that's beautiful.
It feels like winning the lottery over and over. And I mean, like when I come in, the kids, they call me Chia Mauji. It means like auntie, like aunt. They call the teachers Chia.
Chia.
And and like, I mean, these are like 10-year-old children, just the Brazilian people, like hugging me, like to caressing my face. These are little girls, like, but that's how they interact. And I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. It makes when I'm up late writing grants all well worth it. Because you got to remind yourself why you do it.
Yeah,
I
got to remind myself.
I want to throw my computer out the window some days.
But the work, the product, it pays off, man. And so let me ask you this. The way that you get up every day, and I feel like you have bad days. Obviously, every human being does. Nothing is in life is perfect. We all go through it. But when you look at yourself in the mirror, what is your personal mission statement to yourself? And how do you kind of use that on a daily basis? Like, what would you say, this is my personal mission statement and this is how I go about constructing it in my everyday life?
Well, when I wake up, the first thing I do, it's part of Modify Your Day, is I make myself smile. So even if you like had a bad dream or, you know, you're in a bad mood or you went through a breakup or, you know, and these are all things that are very easy to say when life is going good. Yeah. I had a really hard time last year from like October to like January. This was a process. And I had to like literally modify myself. And what I started doing, so I'd make myself smile because after a while you just start to feel ridiculous and you laugh. And then I'll say out loud, today's going to be an incredible day. Today is going to be amazing. And then even like on the days, because I was heartbroken. You know, when you're heartbroken, you don't want to get up and you hate everything. I would start saying things like, and this is out loud, by the way, by myself. I'm so thankful that my legs work to get up and go brush my teeth right now. I would say this. I'm so thankful that I live in this beautiful home that I got myself. I'm so thankful that I don't have to rely on anybody else for my well-being. Like, and so you have to like rewire your emotion or your ego or whatever it is towards gratitude. So I would say if I look in the mirror, I would say my barometer for my success is my joy and how am I sharing that joy. You know, because I mean, even with a stranger, you can just be like, hi, how are you doing? And smile at somebody. You don't know that could save somebody's life. You might give somebody a hug. You don't know what anybody is going through. And so that is always my mission of like, how can I find joy in the moment and then expand that for the whole day, but still honor my feelings in a real way. So it's not like, what do they call it now? Toxic positivity. Yeah,
toxic
where
positivity,
it's like, you know, like my friends are like, how are you? And I'm like, yo, I'm sad, but my life is amazing. Like that's literally would be my exact, I'd be like, I feel sad, but my life is amazing. And so I'm leaning into the gratitude of that. And I know that the sadness will pass.
Yeah, that's actually beautiful because it's almost like you're constructing your mind to be positive and be okay. It's the play on it. I mean, it's this thing of like, because whatever we tell ourselves, that's what it becomes. Whatever 100%. We push out into the world, that's what it will be. And I think when you get a real wake-up call, because something can happen where you be like, I did say that. And it actually happened. You know what I mean? And it's like, maybe I need to be more mindful about the things I'm saying and putting out into the world. But more than that, we need to be very mindful about how we approach and what we say to ourselves.
Oh, that's the most important
That's
thing.
like the most important thing to it. So when you say you wake up every morning and you're telling yourself in the mirror like, oh, I'm just happy that I was able to get up and walk around today. Like,
Literally.
But that's real. It's an appreciation of acceptance. And that's beautiful. So I don't know, man. That's just super cool to me to hear that that's your mindset.
If you were ever like around my house listening, you'd be like, is she out of her mind? I'm fully talking to myself and I'm like loudly talking out because when you're having the hard days, that's when you're really tested.
Yeah.
Or when you're, I mentor all these young girls about confidence and this and that and self-respect.
Exactly.
And it's all good and easy to say when like life is easy or you feel like people are respecting you, but then it's like, when you do get disrespected, because everybody does it, what do you do in that moment? And I will say I'm very proud of myself because I really walk it like I talk it.
Yeah.
I walk it like I talk it. And I've been tested. And in those moments after I did it and it was hard, I was like, that's right, Maud. Oh, I also affirm myself all of the time. All the time. like I don't know if you saw my story 2 days. Last night when I was like, I cooked and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
I even watched a part of your story where you were like, I got up at 7 a.m. This is like my second day or so. You're on this process and you like, it's not great, but you know what? And then it was like, I watched the next story over and you were like, you know what? It's actually great. It's actually going to be okay. I enjoy it. I enjoy waking
it's okay.
up.
It's like
okay.
staying open.
Yeah.
Staying open to the possibility. It's like, though, what you're saying, like, that self-talk is we should all learn from movies and sitcoms. Whenever anybody says it can't get worse than this, the like ceiling falls down.
Yes,
like
every single time.
Every single time.
So
it's like that's how because you attract it.
Yeah.
So I really believe in like the law of attraction.
Because it's real. And also, even when people say this, funny thing when I think about it can't get worse than this, I tell my friends sometimes, I'm like, when you think about your problems, right? If you had the opportunity to put down your problems and pick up somebody else's, would you?
Hell no, because that's the thing.
And that's what I try. Because whatever, and I try. That's what I'm trying to remind people. Whatever you going through, it ain't that bad.
That's I've never thought about that.
Because that's real, though.
I'm taking that.
Please.
I'm gonna use that with my students.
Please.
I'm using that with my kids. I'm gonna text you when I do it. I should video them.
It's so real.
I'm gonna text you when I do it. I'm be like, do you want to pick up somebody else's problems? I'd be like, no.
Because as bad as you think you got it, seriously, you would not understand. If I had to put my problems down and pick somebody else's up and look at their life, you would be like, you know what? Hell no.
And even if you're thinking about or looking at somebody who's like really successful or really rich or really that, I don't want to deal with their problems.
Exactly. None of that.
I do not want to deal with their problems.
I don't want none of it.
I don't know. Exactly.
No, you can definitely keep that in the bag, though.
I took a mental note.
Okay, so again, because I'm really am so fascinated by just your mind and your life and the joy that you bring to the world. Is there a time in your life, and I'm very curious to know this, that you've ever struggled with identity?
I've never struggled with identity, ever. When I was...
Has it ever knocked on the door like...
No. I will say my parents, my father, R.I.P., he died in January. Sorry
for your loss.
Thank you. I will say he was so blickety black. Okay. He pulled me to the side. Now, I don't know if I should say this on a podcast. Well, he died now, so nobody can implicate him. He pulled me aside when I was like 6, when my parents were like kind of about to get divorced.
Yes.
It was tumultuous. This was not a good or healthy situation. But
Okay.
He pulled me aside and he said, your mom is French and you always like acknowledge and respect her culture and that's part of who you are. But the world will look at you. My dad was old. He grew up in segregation. The first time he saw a white person was when he was 10 in real life. And he said, and that's not, and you're not less than anybody. But you need to know when you're moving through the world, this is how the world looks at you. And you're not better than anybody because you're light skinned and you're not better than anybody because you're half white. Or because your mom's white. We never used half and all that stuff. He said, and you are whole, and you have to be proud of who you are. And honestly, I was like 6, and I was like, he's crazy. When you're 6, that was the best thing my father ever did for me. Best. hands down. Because when I went to college, all the kids, mixed kids, like, who am I? What am I? Well, my mom is half white and a quarter less, and this, and I'm like, girl, if you get pulled over by the police, they don't care. Like, you
that
know,
don't matter
if this
for
was
sure.
slavery, what you gonna be in the house? Oh, that's so much better. You know what I mean? And so
that's facts.
I think I've never struggled with that. I did struggle with low self-esteem before when I was in middle school and some high school, because Chloe is 6 years older, and Chloe has a really big butt. And I grew up in the shadow of a fat booty, which sounds ridiculous, but it's like growing up in the shadow of like a Beyonce,
No, I
like
get
in
it.
DC.
I get it.
She was famous.
You battling the
She
fat
was
ass.
famous,
I get
and
it.
people like men. It's crazy when I think about like what young boys that said to me and be like, Chloe has a much better body, or Chloe's the pretty sister. That was I always heard that Chloe's the pretty sister. You're the funny one, and I internalized it so much because I heard it so much, and it was like Chloe's the prettier sister, and I just was like, okay, well, I didn't think I was ugly, but I was like, Chloe's the prettier sister, and I'm funny and I'm really smart, and that's just like what our identities are. And that's okay. Like, I can live with that. But I will say, but it, you know, that weighs on you, because then there's a constant, and the thing is that Chloe would never, ever be like, I'm prettier than you, or I'm this. I mean, half the time people think we're twins, which is hilarious.
Which is crazy, right? I'm about to say,
You
you
know,
know, look
and-
exactly.
But you know, when people
Yeah.
drill that into you, and also we're 6 years apart, so my 12-year-old body should not look like 18-year-old body.
Exactly.
You know, but
Exactly.
again, people,
They're gonna
terrible.
compare. Yeah.
They're always going to compare. And so I will say I dealt with self-esteem, and Chloe helped me get over that, which is also why I started Maudify U, and I do all those affirmations. But now I have no, as an adult, but I will say I worked to get to this place of like no imposter syndrome. I think I'm the shit. Like, I have no problem asking for what I want professionally, personally, whatever. And I have no problem advocating for myself and others. I'm that person. Even when I was a little kid, if I saw somebody being mean to like the kid who had special needs, I'm going to go defend them.
Yeah.
And I've always had great character in that way, and always was confident about that. But now I am in every sense of the word, both like in a shallow, like physical way.
Yeah.
Like, I love how I look. And then, and again, still, Chloe and I talk about this all the time. Her body is still so coveted by our community, and mine is not. But it's okay. You know what I mean? Like that's fine.
Like, it's
Like
all
what
good.
you like.
Yeah,
But
I
I
get
don't feel. I'm not like I need to get a BBL.
Yeah.
I could afford a BBL. I could afford a BBL 20 times over. There's no way I would never.
Yeah.
I would never.
Yeah.
So that's a great question, though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people struggle with identity, and a lot of mixed people do. But I never even look at myself as mixed. People ask me like, "What are you?" And I'll be like, "Maud,
That's it.
Maud." And then if they're like, "But what are you?" I'm like, "Excuse me." I'm like, "Well, my mom is French. Also, my grandmother is a Holocaust survivor, and so I really come from a line of survivors. She's still alive. She's 102. Completely
Shout out
lucid.
grandma.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I talked to
What
her
you
on the
talking
phone 2 days ago. She was telling me I needed to hurry up and come home, and that it was Mother's Day, and she liked the flowers I sent. So, and she knows my number by heart. This ring is from the Holocaust. And so I carry my ancestors with me. Again, like my dad said, honor that side.
Honor, yeah.
But I am a Black woman through and through.
Through and through. Queen, I love it, baby.
Proud.
Come on now. Come on now. And that's crazy, because I did wonder a lot about the identity part of your process when it came to you and your sister, because you guys have so much together. You have a lot going on. And obviously, the world isn't going to get away from comparing you guys. It's almost like I could truly believe that's how you grew up. So I'm not shocked to hear that part of your journey being like, oh, well, the older sister, she got the fat butt, and now we're, you know, and it's crazy to me, because if you were a different type of child, it could have altered the way that you lived your life, or the way that you looked at it.
Completely.
It could have altered the relationship that you have with your sister on an
Very
even
much.
deeper sense. You get what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand the influence that they have, or what they do when they speak to children in that way, especially when you're growing up, because your mind is developed, or is developing.
It's developing,
right?
and you're like a sponge, and
Yeah.
everybody at the end of the day wants to be accepted. Even when people are like, I don't care if nobody likes me, No, nobody wants to be alone. We're not meant to be alone.
Facts.
You know, like when
Facts.
people are like, I don't
Facts.
care, I don't need nobody. No, I need people. I love people. I thrive. I want 8 hugs a day. I want to talk to people. And I do love my alone time, but I love people. And when you love people, and then even people like you like, or like a guy I might have had like a little crush on. I mean, it even happened in my like adult life in my 20s, like a guy I have a crush on, and they're like, "What's up with Chloe?" And I'm like, well, but now I'm at a place where I'm like, great, if you like Chloe, you like Chloe. If you like me, you like me, which is also the great thing about our bodies being so different.
Bam, I was going to say, yeah.
We don't fight. We have a big policy. It's a very main one policy. We don't fight over men or money.
Facts.
We never do.
Yeah.
And it's never even gotten to that point. And so I think that it's a blessing also because Chloe is so confident, and Chloe also never let her butt define who she was or her value. Because, Chloe's so smart and so sharp and so keen, and really took being a big sister and a role model so seriously. So she instilled confidence in me, even though like we had to work on it. But you're right. Like, I never have thought about it that like in depth, but like, what if I became like really like sexually active for like approval to feel like I was pretty or this or that? Good thing, whatever my mom and my sister and my brother instilled in me was like, lean into, your books and your dance and the things that are useful. And because I mean, when I was in 7th grade, the girls were already becoming so sexualized.
Yeah.
And I was like, ew. I was like, that's nasty. And I'm so happy that I felt that way.
Yeah, because
this is nasty.
Yeah, because it kept you safe.
It kept me safe.
Secure, understanding, and away from the crazies, and the people who would have tried to take advantage of you. Because, again, there are so many people who prey on young girls. And
so many
it's
people
so
who prey
sad.
Even on women. On
women in general. And because that's general facts. But it's like the fact that you were able to have a good foundation of a family around you that kept you sane, kept you in pocket to understand like, no, this is my life. This is who I am. And I'm okay and I'm comfortable in my own skin. It's truly beautiful, which
I'm very thankful. I'm also, sorry.
No,
I
go
just
ahead.
also want to acknowledge, particularly because what we're seeing in the news right now so much with like this domestic violence and sexual abuse is I am very lucky, knock on wood. I have never been sexually assaulted. Never. I mean, in DC, I've had a guy like grab my butt, like walking down the street. And then I'm like, don't touch me. I was like, Yeah. What's so crazy now? As an adult, if a guy grabbed my butt on the street, and this is not an okay, this is not the welcoming. But because I've just now know people are so crazy, I would just keep it. I just keep pushing.
Just keep
you know
it
what
moving.
I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
But I've never been sexually assaulted in an intimate space where I felt like I lost my power. And I think, and I'm so thankful because I think 1 in 4 women have been sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
And when I think about that, and my dad, for all of his flaws that he had, he never was like physically abusive, or if anything, he was just absent. Which at the end of the day, when I think about it, it's like, you weren't ready.
Yeah.
You gotta step away.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I still turned out pretty all right. And my mom, just picked up the mantle, and so did my brother and my community. And, it really takes a village and the women. But I will say, because I work with so many kids now, and like one of our kids in Brazil, my teacher called me, or my like teacher that's on the ground, and she's like, Maud, we have a problem. And I'm like, what? She's like, one of our students is getting molested and raped by her grandfather. And I was like, how old is she? And she's like, she's 11. And I was like, what do I need to do? How does it work there? What's the legal system? Do I send money? What do we do? And she's like, it's really difficult because the grandfather has money and the whole family's living with the grandfather. And I was like, let's get her in a hotel. Like, again, I don't know the legal system there, so just their child protective services,
Yeah.
I will say that was 2.5 years ago. I saw her when I was just there 10 days ago. She's thriving. We got her out the house.
Oh, man.
She's still dancing. She's, in addition to dancing, she got a job at the grocery store. She's thriving. And I watched, because when I knew her then too, I just don't see them all the time. I see them twice a year. She was like always like mean and like scowling at me. And I'd be like, I'll scowl back at you. and now when I see her now, she's light and joyful. And I feel her freedom.
Yeah.
And so I do want to acknowledge that. I feel very lucky in that I have never, and I hope I never experience that feeling of my power being taken away.
Yeah. When you, oh man, I'm sorry. That just kind of gets to me a little bit because.
Oh no, I was horrified. And the reason I'm able to like kind of say it is because I processed it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, I cry all the time, mostly of joy. Like, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm crying. I'm so happy I'm crying. And then when I saw her, though, I didn't, you know, in front of her, I did not. She doesn't speak English, so she can't understand any of this. But later on that evening, and I called to, you know, like tell Chloe, like, give her just like the update.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, wow, like, I can't imagine being in a space where you're completely powerless.
Yeah.
And it's like your family's poor and this person has money. That's where you stay. And hey, it is what it is, you know? Excuse me. So it's like, I'm such a believer in each one, teach one. And it's like, great. If our program saved one child's life, great. You know, like we did our due diligence or whatever. But then it's the reminder of like, we have to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So
that
that
work
then
doesn't stop. The work
it never
doesn't
does.
stop.
Because
It never
evil don't
stops.
stop.
Yeah.
So we have to work overtime. But that's okay because, you know, like what Martin Luther King say something about the light always shines in the dark. I don't know.
Yeah.
But one of those.
Yeah. No, it's real though.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I was going to ask you this. When you speak about who you are, it's just beautiful because I watch how much you do for other people, how much you do for friends, for family, and we talking about people all over the globe. That's why you're so inspiring, the work that you do and the work that you and your sister do together as well. But my question to someone like you, and I'm always curious to know, when you give so much, how do you show up for yourself?
Well, you know.
I mean, because, right, you know, we show up for a lot of people. So it's like, you know.
It's a great question.
How does Maud show up for herself, though?
So I'll say this. I spoil myself.
Okay.
Did you see my new watermelon doormat?
I did see that.
Guys, I got a watermelon doormat.
I did see
But guess what's going to be revealed tomorrow?
What?
The watermelon bath mat. Okay, so I live in corny. Have you seen that viral trend of like women, like pretty women in like robes, and it's like when people say I got mad dudes on my phone and they're like walking around the house like doing nothing?
Yeah.
That is my life.
Okay.
I'm like, I think I want a watermelon doormat or whatever it is. So I will say it is, and I have a therapist. I go to therapy. I love therapy.
Okay.
And she's always like, Maud, your capacity is abnormal. And I am energized by giving.
Okay.
I will say what I am working on right now is creating boundaries in dating and friendships, actually. Because, what do they say? Like, a giver can't be with a taker because neither have limits.
That's right.
And
Yep.
I don't have limits. Like, if I love you, whether it's my student or my friend or my man or my family, I am like,
you all in.
whatever you want, or not, like whatever you need, you don't have to ask. I will see the need and like show up and just fix it. Like I'm like Mary Poppins, but the Negro. And but I love it. I love it. And so what I've realized is I'm not, how I self-care for myself?
Yeah.
Is that I don't dial back when the world is constantly telling me to, because I get like disappointed by maybe a friend doing something very unkind to me, or, a breakup or this or that. The world's like basically like logically like stop loving so much, like just close it off. But I think the best way for me to give my self-care is to continue to love, because that's who I am naturally.
Yeah.
So I would say my biggest self-care is I'm always authentic to who I am and how I feel. And I eat good food. And I shop when I want to. But again, my shopping is things like watermelon
I was going to say, because that's very black of you.
It is.
It's very black
It
of you.
is. And guess what I have in my fridge right now? Watermelon. Of course. It's summertime.
I guarantee when them Amazon packages come, they're going to be like, oh, she black.
Of course. Of course.
Every package that get dropped off, they know
today
you
the
black.
Amazon guy came and the boxes were quite heavy. And I said to him, he was a nice Latino brother. I said, do you want some water? Because I have these bottles of water in my house. And he was like, that is so nice, but I'm good. Thank you. Like, I think my biggest self-care is honoring who I am and being authentic in the moment. Because you've always seen me in my, like, happy, joyful. But, I mean, obviously I've been sad. I've been angry. What's interesting about my anger, though, my anger is so fleeting. Like, I'll be angry. I need to, like, vent about it, be angry about it, and then I've moved on. Like, I can release anger so quickly. It's more difficult for me to release sadness. But it is both the gift, it is the gift and the curse of feeling so deeply that my highs are so high that my lows can be really low. Felicia Rashad once told me, because obviously she's Debbie Allen's sister.
Of course.
My first heartbreak, I was 25 years old. And I actually, speaking of August Wilson, I went to go see her in Gem of the Ocean on Broadway.
Dope.
And so I go backstage afterwards. And I'm like, Auntie Lish. And then he was cheating on me with this girl. And, she's known me since I was 13. So
Of
I'm
course.
Like, and I just don't even know. Like, and she's pretty. And I'm in my 20s.
All the girl stuff there,
And she's like, stop. Because she is. And she's like, too bad for him. She was like, could you imagine living in a prison of lies every day? She said, what a blessing it is to live so fully. She said, this will pass. She's like, but you're living fully and you're living truthfully. Don't ever stop doing that. And I was like, I was probably 25. And then she goes, I think you're too worldly for these American men. You need to go to like Paris or London or Brazil or somewhere, But what she said, and I had been through this, like, I was so sad about this guy and I was like crying and heartbroken. And all my friends were like, it's his loss. It's his loss. Guys, that is the dumbest advice ever. Like, or like, it doesn't make you feel better at all. Makes you feel better. It's his loss. You're like, okay, so, but when she said, imagine living in a prison of lies. And I was like, that is very true. And she said, you live in your truth every day. I said, I do. And so it is, again, a gift to feel so free and so light. But then when you get disappointed, it does weigh on you. But again, I don't self-medicate in like bad ways. I don't drink. I don't smoke.
Of course.
My vice is like brownies and cupcakes. But, still not in excess.
Hey.
But, when the girl's sad, might get
a little chocolate.
Might get some chocolate. And some watermelon. I love chocolate and watermelon, which might sound crazy, but it's delicious. Try.
Yeah, it's very black of you, but it's beautiful. But it's beautiful.
I told you. I make cornbread all the time. Ask when Afion comes, be like, tell me about Maud's cornbread.
Okay.
Yes.
Now y'all heard, so because when I talk to Afion, we asking about this cornbread. I got a question for him already about the bread. So one of the last things I want to talk to you about is Maudify U. We have to talk about this life coaching. Just please explain to me, the viewers and everybody, why you created Maudify U. The basis and premises. I know I broke it down, but I want to hear. I want the world to hear it from you. This platform, your life coaching, is such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful process. But give us a little more about why this was created and what you plan overall to get from this platform.
So I started it because I've been mentoring young people it's been a long time, like 20 years.
Yes.
And I realized that there was a deeper need, but I also realized, again, this is self-care, that I do have a limited capacity of time and energy. So I was like, let me create a system in which people can become a part of this little university that I created. And whether it's a one-off or a monthly retainer, there's all these various options, and I have scholarships and everything like that. But where I can really work deeply with somebody to help them overcome, whether it be depression or an eating disorder. And I really noticed it in some of the young girls that are just in my purview and, are close to me that I'm mentoring. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're really troubled. Social media.
Yeah.
Whew. Oh my God.
I
I'm
know,
so thankful we didn't have that
man.
growing up.
Who you telling?
It's
thankful.
awful. It's
awful.
horrifying.
Yeah.
And so I really created it as an alternative, where it's cool to be joyful, and because I also have adults where it's sexy to be joyful, and it's not corny, like, and where joy is the barometer for one's success, whether that be day by day if they're struggling with depression or anything, and then for the long term, giving them tools so that they can then find the joy. They know how to seek that, how to find it on their own without me. I'm not one of those people that's like, you're going to depend on me for the rest of your life.
Right.
No.
That's
and then
not,
what would like really affirmed it was I was with my therapist one day. We're just chit-chatting with my therapist, who I love. And she was like, Maud, you should be a life coach. And if your therapist tells you that you should be a life coach, and I was like, I've been toying with it, but I don't know, and she was like 1000%, you need to run with it. And that was like the universe, these vessels, she's a vessel, affirming what maybe I knew in my spirit, but I was like, maybe not. And so that's how it started. And I love it, and it's fun, and it's amazing to help, to be a part of somebody's journey to happiness and to joy, because joy is really all that matters at the end of the day. We do all this stuff to be joyful. You know, you want a fancy car. Why? Because you think it's going to make you feel good. You want, you know, whatever, a boyfriend, girlfriend, wedding, because you think it's going to make you feel happy. But it's like, how do you find that yourself, within yourself? And what do you do on your harder days to find that? And of course, dance is such an outlet for me. Like acting is for you, and writing is for you, to channel that joy. So even like when I was going through my heartbreak, I leaned into dancing more. Even though I dance all the time, but even I'd be like, I want to go out and dance like at a party, because I was like, I just want to like dance. And it not be work.
No, I
you
feel
know,
that.
because if it's work, then you
Then
still have to like
yeah.
have this like level of focus and
Yeah.
you know. But I'm like, I just want to feel free, and so helping people find the tools that help them find joy in their deepest, darkest moments.
Hey, come on, man. Listen, one more time, give it up for my girl, man. We in the building. You know what I'm saying? And for more information, make sure you go to maudarnold.com/Maudify. That's how we putting it down. Listen, I am so thankful that you came to rock out with me today.
Thank you.
know what
I am
mean?
so thankful for you. Shout out to Shaka, who connected us.
Yes.
I told Shaka, I said, Shaka, it's the Shaka diaspora.
It is.
I said, and he was like, oh, you're going to have so much fun. I was like, oh, I love Jarrell. I haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah.
So thank you. I'm honored to have been on the podcast.
Yes.
I loved it.
Yes.
You know, what am I on hour 18 of my day? Still feeling great. This reinvigorated me.
Hey,
so
what we
thank
talking
you.
about? Hey.
And no, I really appreciate it. And I think the other thing about self-care, sorry to go back, is to have great people in your circle to remind you, because on your harder days, it is great when you get that text from a friend that's like, you're doing great job, or whatever it is. And so I think it's so important, because we don't talk all the time, but I know if I need you or I need I know I can hit you. It's not, there's no gray area, there's no question marks. So I think that's a huge part of self-care, is just having exclamation points and periods in your life and not question marks.
Hey, man, one more time for my girl Maud in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of
Real Talk.
You feel me? And make sure you continue to hit that follow and that subscribe button, because we got more dope episodes coming your way, man. I appreciate y'all. All love. You feel me?
Hey. Let this shit ride for a minute, man.
Hey, listen, we got an exclusive on Real Talk, man. I hope y'all understand what's happening right now, because we doing something special. This is unscripted, just happening off the top. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, this is a special Maud freestyle.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, you know, it's straight off the dome. You know what I'm saying? We
Hey.
like a cipher.
You feel me?
And this is the first time, y'all, I have a real beatboxer.
Hey, I'm in the building.
We are going back to
I
the
probably
roots
didn't even
of
know I had
hip-hop.
that talent. You let me know when you're ready. Yeah.
To hip hop.
You feel me?
All right,
You want this thing?
I'm excited.
All right. See what I cook up for young Maud here.
Okay. Hey. My name is Maud, and I'm not a fraud. I came to the valley to be not his broad, but his dear, dear friend. He's amazing. It doesn't ever end. We just did an interview. Ooh, you gotta see it too. It was so good and inspiring because that's what my friends all do. Y'all know I can't really rap. I know some say I should just tap. But if you know me, I won't because I do whatever I want. So make sure you check out the podcast. If you don't, you know you're an... But I don't curse, so you missed it. But make sure you check out Real Talk with REL. Real Talk with REL. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Real Talk with REL. Real Talk with REL. And if you like it, tell.
Hey, what we talking? Let's go. Real Talk is in the building, man. Shout out Maud. You feel me?